How you doing, folks? Look, Mr. Zachary here, and recently I got the opportunity to spend a week driving what is arguably one of the most badass land-going vehicles that money can buy. That would be the Storyteller EPIC GXV. I had met these guys out of King of the Hammers in February and got about 2 hours to spend in the vehicle doing some kind of cool stuff, but really it wasn't enough time to really explore the capabilities of something like this. So they had reached out and this opportunity kind of lined up. If you saw the last video on my channel, well, the one before the last, you saw that we took this thing up to Wyoming to the Silencer Coast Summer Camp event. This was a pretty unique opportunity to actually use this because I got to spend a week in the damn thing. And I don't think there's a better way that you can get to feel something out than by taking it on a 700-mile road trip over some mountains with some pretty crazy grades, and then out into actual wilderness, to BLM land where there's nothing around you, and actually living out of it. And that's why I wanted to make this little bonus video because, for one, thought we lost the footage where kind of documented some of this stuff and actually got to do a walkthrough and got to give my actual opinion on some of these things. And two, well, it's just too cool not to. Since I had this opportunity, I wanted to fully understand what it was like to not only drive this thing and spend a couple days in it, but to live out of it too. A rig like this is built for months or even years on expedition. So for me to even be able to speak on this thing with any kind of accuracy, I was gonna need to eat, sleep, shower, and basically exist in it for a few days at bare minimum in order to even get like a mild understanding of its capabilities or its value. Because let's face it, the price tag on one of these, not exactly cheap. But after living out of it for a while, it's honestly a lot of bang for the buck. Knowing that I had this opportunity, I booked a few more days on the front end of the trip so that I could take a slightly casual pace of a road trip and actually get some nights alone, sleeping out of it, living out of it, experiencing, well, what it had to offer. And also to see if there was some problems I could find it. Now, I picked it up in Salt Lake City, and the trip from there to eastern Wyoming, where High Bar Homestead is located, is roughly 700 miles. It's not exactly the easiest 700 miles to drive on a highway if you got something that weighs 26,000 pounds. You gotta go over some big mountains, and there are some incredible grades up and down. I knew that was gonna put it through the test, and also, we were gonna see what that 6.7 Cummins was made of. Now look, if you've never seen anything on this vehicle, it's your first time coming across it, I'll give you some quick beats. Now to start, you can see this thing is not exactly small. Its overall length is 30 feet 2 inches, its overall height is 12 foot 5 inches, and its body width is 8 full feet. So it's gonna take up pretty much an entire lane of highway. The EPIC GXV rests on a Kenworth K370 extended cab chassis, and it features a 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel and a GXV exclusive 4x4 system with a high and low range transfer case and a 50-to-1 crawl ratio. And it's got locking front and rear differentials. The fuel capacity on this thing is 200 gallons, which, if you don't drive it like an idiot, would get you about 1,800 to 2,000 miles. Now in this case, I know we're going up a lot of crazy elevation, so it's to be expected that mileage is gonna go a little bit lower than the roughly 10 miles per gallon that it's rated at. But everything does. Hell, my 572 and my K5 would get about 2 to 3 miles per gallon at 7,500 feet of elevation when I was living just outside of Park City. And it also lose like half its horsepower, if that puts it into perspective for you. Now, the reason they use that Cummins and it's backed by an Allison 6-speed automatic transmission is actually pretty cool because pretty much anywhere you're gonna go, you're gonna be able to find parts for this thing, which is really nice. I mean, it doesn't have some exotic layout that you're gonna have to be waiting weeks on something getting shipped to you, or you can't find just in general. And the best part is there's a lot of dealerships that can work on these things in the event something does happen to you while you're on a 6-month expedition across wherever. Now, it's got a bunch of rad features on the interior and exterior and all that, but I'm gonna go through some of that in the walk around that you'll see in a little bit. So just hang on for a second, we'll get to it. So after picking this thing up, fully loaded in Salt Lake City, fully fueled up, I set out to climb this 26,000 pound beast up over the Uinta Range and eastward to Wyoming. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, how does this thing drive? Well, I tell you, pretty much like you would expect, except way better off-road. Let's be real here. You're not gonna be setting any lap times at Laguna Seca in this thing. And it is a little large for really tight city driving, but it's extremely manageable for its size. And off of the road, this thing is incredible. Like, I've driven a Winnebago off-road before. A hilarious experience, but also that Winnebago didn't fare too well through some bumps and some dust. This thing soaks it up Whoever did the valving for the shocks, great job. It's super comfy off-road. It handles everything you want. Now, on-road characteristics. It is a lot like driving a dump truck, except it's a lot more predictable than you would think. It doesn't sway in the wind. It's not all crazy. And look, yeah, it only goes about 65 miles an hour, but you probably don't want to be going much faster than that anyway in something this size. Now, I did plenty of mountain driving in this thing, climbing up to elevations almost to 10,000 feet. And you know what? It made it up it. Didn't do it entirely too fast, but that's okay. It was passing semi-trucks, and that's all that matters. Honestly, driving this thing on the road, hell of a lot nicer than I would have expected. After driving this thing for a few days, I gotta admit, there's never been a vehicle that I have personally driven that's turned more heads or just had people coming up to you at gas stations or wherever you stop to ask, what the hell is it? It seems to put a smile on everybody's face. I don't care where you're from, you pull up in this thing and people are like, this is awesome. The thing stands out wherever you drive it and it demands respect on any road or off of it. There's just something about this vehicle that screams, I am absolutely serious about what I'm doing and nothing's gonna stop me from it. So it earns respect, it's cool, and it feels good to drive. Now I got the chance to stop and camp out in this thing out in the middle of Wyoming in some BLM land. There's no better feeling like sleeping under the stars and being able to see the entire Milky Way because there's no light pollution. And I slept like a baby. Let me show you this walkthrough where I explain this in further detail. You're probably wondering, what is it like to actually live out of one of these things? Now, I've slept in it the last 2 nights while driving, and I gotta say, it's pretty damn cozy. It's really nice because you can pull this thing up to anywhere you want. I've not had to find like an RV park or like some sketchy parking lot. I literally just found BLM land, drove way off the road into some stuff, posted up, and chilled out, set up camp, and it's good to go. There's nothing like sleeping in the absolute middle of nowhere. So many stars, so freaking beautiful, and so peaceful and quiet. A drastic difference than living in LA. So let me walk you through this thing. You can kind of see some of the insides. Now, again, I did a whole video on this thing while we were out at Hammers, but this is what it's really like living out of it. First up, when you come into this thing, you got the kitchen table here. This actually converts into a bed. This table can clock 360 degrees and it goes up and down. This is at maximum height right now. We're dumping some footage, going through all that. As for the kitchen, all of these drawers, they all got little lock deals. That's nice. And you got to remember to lock these when you start driving because I definitely forgot to leave that one locked and started taking off and it did come open on me. Sink, really big and deep for a vehicle. It's actually got better faucets and everything than my house does. The coolest thing, which I'm about to use tonight, is this thing has a damn washer and dryer. It's all in one unit. It's pretty big. You can see we got a bunch of towels in there right now. It fits quite a bit, so that's really nice. Also up here, you got more storage. Bada bing, bada boom. We got some kitchenware that they left in there. That's very nice of them. Bedroom back here. This bed, incredibly comfortable. I cannot stress this enough. I'm a bit of a diva when it comes to a bed. I like it a little bit firm, and usually any hotel I sleep in, except for like a handful, I always get terrible sleep. This thing, absolutely incredible. Super comfortable, 10 out of 10. Whatever the hell mattress they use on this, good job, Storyteller. I didn't make up the bed very well, so that's my bad. But you got windows on both sides. You also got the sunroof here. This all opens up. You can get a nice breeze through there. Last night, we slept out in the desert in Wyoming. It was beautiful. Had all the windows open. You could see all the stars from the bed from here. Absolutely incredible. It's a sight I don't get to see all that often because I live in a way too overpopulated city with too much light pollution. Now, the big thing about this that I love over any RV I've ever been in is this is a bathroom, and this whole thing is a shower. You got your shower right here, and this boy pops open, and it basically feels like you're in like an outdoor shower. Up here, you can kind of see we got all the solar panels, got the AC system, and a bing, bada boom, and nice and big and roomy. This is something that, man, when I was out at King of the Hammers, we were in an RV, and the shower was so freaking small that it was just painful to even try to bathe yourself. Now, you got a nice little window in here too. Open this whole thing out wide, boom. Big props on the bathroom. The fridge, very big. I don't have too much stuff in there, but this thing has stayed on the entire time, kept everything cold. Freezer there. This is not just a microwave, this is an air fryer. It is a dehydrator. It does like 10 different things. Super nice. It's a convection oven as well. All this stuff has remained on, no problems with the battery. I was running the AC, but we're not right now. All this stuff can basically stay running because the solar panels on this thing keep everything charged. It's wild. And let's say that it gets to nighttime and you have no sun, the generator automatically kicks on, it's pumping, and it's good to go. And I'm pretty sure that thing's running off of diesel too, because it runs off of the fuel supply, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, all power all the time, really nice. And of course, there's multiple light settings. I mean, I got the LEDs underneath the cabinets on right now, but if we wanted to, we could turn on all the lights. Bam. It's really nice. So fit and finish on this stuff, really clean. There's no jankiness. There's no like shoddy installation, which, like I've seen in a lot of RVs. So my only complaint with this thing, and it's not really a big complaint, and you know what, obviously they could keep this thing EPA legal and yada, yada, yada. I guarantee if this thing was deleted, it would have way more power than it needs and probably get better gas mileage. Now, gas mileage wasn't too bad. I'm averaging about just under 8 miles per gallon, which is pretty insane given this thing weighs like 20,000 pounds almost. And that's fully loaded, had a bunch of gear in here. The whole pass-through is completely loaded with pretty heavy stuff. But honestly, if it was deleted and this thing was rolling a little coal and having that bah sound, that'd be a little cooler in my book. But other than that, works damn good. And it's very easy too. Simple, it's a 6-speed auto. You don't have to do anything. All you gotta do is push the gas pedal down and make sure you're engaging the brake in a straight line and not taking turns too crazy fast, and it's good to go. At the end of the day, most of us get caught up in the daily grind and we're doing the same stuff day in and day out. And how cool would it be to able to just go off and explore the world and just get outside of cities and the tourism and all of the crap that kind of ruins the majesty of the great unknown. I mean, realistically, there's not a whole lot of vehicles that can get you out to where you can get away from light pollution. You can have a comfortable place to sleep. You know you're gonna have electricity because the solar works so well, and it really can stretch a gallon of diesel. This thing is so utilitarian and so functional. It took everything in stride and it was comfortable to drive. Knowing that you can get through some slop, mud, sand pits, whatever, is pretty confidence inspiring. Having something like this is essentially like having a key to the unknown. At the end of the day, I think the big question is the Storyteller GXV worth the cost? If you're somebody that can swing it, or if you're somebody that has this burning desire to go explore the world, this is a pretty good way of doing it. And I think you learn a lot about yourself and life. I would be willing to sell my house and live out of one, and basically live out a dream that I've had about exploring the world. It'd be pretty cool to take one from Alaska all the way down to Patagonia. And you know what, in something like this, you could do it damn well. So in my opinion, yeah, it's worth it. If you ever get the chance to drive one of these, you absolutely have to experience it to understand just how cool this thing is. So I appreciate you guys watching this little bonus video. Hopefully it inspires you to go, I don't know, either check one out or maybe get out of the city yourself. Doesn't matter if you have one of these or you just got an old hoopty truck, just go take it out. Go experience the wilderness. Get outside of the noise. Go live some life. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.